Hey everybody, it's Seth and Paul with the Everything Money Channel. Today, Paul gets after a local real estate agent. His name is Tyler, wholesaler. He's coming at his ass because he sent
Tyler.
He sent over a deal and he's a complete liar. He's lying the numbers so that some idiot will fall and buy in their first real estate deal like me because I was looking at the deal. So Paul breaks down the numbers of why you should be hesitant and careful when you get numbers from real estate right now on the Everything Money Channel. Let's rock and roll. Paul, thanks for joining us in your volleyball outfit today. It's great to see you. Last Friday, I contacted you with a real estate deal I found on Facebook. I'm in part of these couple stupid real estate investor groups that they kind of pass around.
You like this deal too.
I did for a moment. Yeah, I liked the location, the price. So for this real estate deal, but hold on a second, Paul.
What are you going to ask them to do?
Please make sure you smash that like button right here. It really helps us. And it helps the channel, and it's so simple. It takes like half a second, just right there.
Yeah!
Thank you so much. Paul, the deal, tell us about the deal.
Give him like 3 seconds to do it.
Oh, it's so simple, Paul. You just click the little thumbs.
I know, just stop for 3 seconds.
I'll do it myself. I'm actually just checking Grindr.
Yeah!
All right, Paul, tell us about the deal.
So you sent me this deal, and for the initial look of it, I was like, oh, this looks pretty good, $150,000.
Write it down.
$150,000, 2-family, 2-unit in Cleveland Heights.
Now, you lit up when I said Cleveland Heights.
Yeah, because we like Cleveland Heights. We've had a lot of rentals there. The only problem with Cleveland Heights, high taxes, high property taxes. But we get good rent. I believe you told me that the rent per month between the 2 units was $1,800 a month. Not bad,
that's
right?
Right, yep.
How much is that per year?
That's a lot. That's
$21,600 per year.
That's what I was going to say. You cut me right off.
I believe.
Yep.
Somebody do the math for me. 2,000 times 12 is 24,000 minus 2,400. Yep, that's right. Okay, so there was something written right underneath it. And I immediately said, this is a lie.
You did.
Like within half a second, I was like, well, not half a second. Like the second I saw the cap rate thing, it said 15% cap rate.
Now, if this was true, this is a hell of a deal, Paul, right?
Yes. Hell of a deal. So you
what
got to remember,
what are the normal cap rates you're getting on good properties?
Like on good properties right now, I'd be dying to get 7 cap, 7.5 cap. So this is double the cap rate.
And show the listeners right now, what cap rate is, please.
Cap rate is net income divided by your sale price.
If you pay cash.
Well, no, it's always.
I thought you always say if you pay cash.
Because that's the return you're getting if you pay cash. So you're getting a 15% return on your money if you pay cash for the property. Mm-hmm. So the reason I knew this was BS immediately, and we're going to get into the story about what happened between me and the guy who was posting it. So if you remember that net income divided by sale price is supposed to be 15%.
Yes.
Well, we know the sale price is $150,000, right? Mm-hmm. So let's do a little math here. Let's do a little cross multiplication. 15% equals X divided by 150,000.
Mm-hmm.
Cross multiply 22,500 equals X. So the net income should equal 22,500. Net income, people, is revenue less all vacancy and less all expenses.
Oh, less all of that.
All of that.
So I thought it was just the two numbers.
No. How the could the profit be higher than the possible rent per year? So I had you email the guy.
Yeah. So
now this is what bothers me about the whole industry. When there are times that are exuberant like they are now.
That's right.
Idiots are all trying to get in the game. This guy was a fucking idiot. His name is Tyler. He's actually mutual friends with a friend of mine.
Uh-oh.
So I texted a friend of mine. I said, what's the deal with this guy? He's like, I played baseball with him. He went to my high school. Mm-hmm. Ignatius guy, by the way. Loser. So I said, do you mind if I go bash him because he's a fucking idiot? He's lying. He's terrible. He's taking advantage of people. He said, I don't care. I said, good. So I had you email him. And I said, Seth, email him, ask him, how'd you calculate the cap rate? And what was his response?
His response was exactly how you do it.
Yep.
I said, how do you calculate the cap rate? How did you calculate the cap rate? And he said exactly how you do it.
The second I heard that, I was like, this guy has no idea what a cap rate is. This is exactly what's wrong with the industry, and all you guys out there have to be very careful when you're listening to people, because this guy is perceived as an expert because he's listing a property.
Yeah.
He's a wholesaler, right? He's supposed to be looked at, investors go to him. So I messaged him myself and said, hey, I came across this property, but I saw your cap rate, and it doesn't make sense. You don't know what a cap rate is.
You came right out with that.
Right off the bat. I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go right at this guy. And guess what, guys? This is the thing I'm working on very much myself, and this is way better than it was 10 years ago. This drives my stomach. Like right now, I'm feeling it in my stomach. And the reason being is, it's guys like this that make the market the way it is, and it's guys like this that make it look like I don't know what I'm doing because I'm not doing many deals.
This hurts you personally when people do this to your industry.
This is why I need intense psychotherapy. This is exactly why.
Okay.
So he writes back, how's your portfolio doing?
That's his first comment?
Something like that. So I wrote, well, my portfolio of blah, blah, blah units, trying to sound like a hard ass. And he wrote, if you're such a big guy, and he put in quotes, why are you wasting your time getting an argument with me? Which is a valid point. And I wrote back to myself, because it's shady people like you that make the industry bad. It's losers like you that make other people lose money because they're going to trust you. And then when they trust you and you screw them, then it makes guys like me look bad. All it takes, though, guys, and this is exactly what I'm saying, you're going to go believe everybody. This is why I don't listen to analysts. This is why when everybody tells me, like, Paul, this is what this analyst is saying, I don't care what an analyst says. I never look at stock analysts. I'm trying to actually build a position right now in Carnival Cruise Line. Analysts are saying it's terrible. Don't touch it. I'm sitting there buying it. But the whole point is, if you just knew from watching our videos what a cap rate was, in half a second you'd be confused. You actually might get confused and go, somebody doesn't know what they're talking about here. Either Paul does it or this guy does it.
Yes.
Cap rate is your net income, and that's your net income equals revenue minus all expenses.
All the expenses. So
Except for mortgage.
Okay.
Except for your mortgage interest. It's revenue, your collected money, minus all your expenses, management fees, tax. And a property like that, the tax is going to be $6,000 a year.
So I did this calculation.
Based on the revenue.
Off the revenue.
And a lot of people.
It still wasn't 15.
Years ago.
Yeah, it still wasn't 15%.
Correct. Years ago, a moron in Vegas tried to tell me that a cap rate was revenue divided by. I'm like, no. He's like, that's a gross cap. I'm like, okay, call it whatever you want, a gross cap rate. But the actual cap rate is net income divided by sale price. And this is what bothers me, because this is exactly the shadiness that makes the whole industry bad. So, people, let's actually do what the actual cap rate was. Let's actually try to calculate what this cap rate actually is. Okay.
I love where you're going with this.
So $21,600 is what the revenue would be if you collected every dollar.
100% vacancy.
Yeah, but there's going to be a vacancy. What's the vacancy? Let's call it 10%. To make it easy, let's call it $2,000. You're left with $19,600. Fair enough? Okay, taxes. In that area, taxes are going to be about 4% of your purchase price. It's pretty high over there. So 4% of $150,000 is $6,000. So you're already down to $13,600. Let's call it insurance. What's insurance going to be on a property like that?
You tell me. I don't know.
Call it $1,000
A year.
a year.
Okay.
You're down to $12,600. Okay? So from 21.6, I've talked about 3 different things, and we haven't even finished all the expenses.
No.
And we're already almost down in half.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're at $12,600. Let's take out
Maintenance
maintenance and repair. That's going to be around
$1,000 a year.
No, probably about $1,200 a year, maybe $1,300.
And explain what goes into this, because like I'm trying to explain this to my wife about like you have to save up for that roof you might need.
Well, that's capital expenditures next.
Oh, tell me about it then.
That's $300 per unit a year.
And what does that include?
That includes your bigger numbers. Like every 10 years you got to put a roof on. Every 10 years you got to put furnace and things like that. If you don't make every 20 years, whatever these, not 10 years. It's like, but you know, if you sit there and say every 20, 25 years you got to put 20 grand of the property.
Yeah.
You know, 15 grand of the property. That's what it is. Okay. What about management fee? Oh, I'm going to manage it myself. Okay, but a bank, when you go to borrow the money from them, they're going to charge a management fee. Let's call it 8%. What's 8% of $20,000? That's $1,600. Cutting the grass, utilities. Well, wait a second. People pay for it. No, it's a 2-family. You have to pay for that. So cutting the for the cutting the grass. So what's the cutting the grass going to be? $30, 25 times a year? That's $750. What about snowplow? Snow. Call that another 500. You see what I'm doing here? Let's just to end it quickly, let's call a miscellaneous number 1,000. I can still come up with more expenses. So 11,400, 10,800, 9,800, 9,200, minus 8,200, 7,700. We're at $7,000 in total profit at the end of the year. And I don't even think that's the full thing. What's 7,000? So now we have a net income of 7,000. Remember what cap rate is. Net income divided by purchase price. 4.6%. 6%.
Wow. Why would he triple?
This is what I say to the guy over there.
Why would he triple
because
that
he's a
number?
liar. That's what realtors and brokers, and their job is to sell. That's it, people. If you think that your realtor, broker, or wholesaler is going to give you the right numbers, you are absolutely delusional. They don't care about you, ever. And you sit there and say, no, mine's different, you're the sucker at the table. I hate to get angry about it, but this is exactly what's wrong with the industry. And then they sit there and blame somebody else later. I once had a realtor, the guy who was in charge of opening the office for Marks & Millichap, one of the biggest firms in the country in Cleveland, he once said to me, why are you being a stickler about this fee? You're going to get a tax credit at closing. I'm like, yeah, but I have to pay that tax credit. Yeah, but you're getting it today. But I have to pay it later, a month later. Yeah, but you're getting it today. Literally, because I was getting a credit that I owed back in a month, he said I should be happy about it. And these are the people that are in charge of it. This moron will not be in the real estate business, this guy, in the next 2 or 3 years. I should say this, if you have 100 guys like this, 95 of them are not going to be the business in 2 or 3 years. So you have to do your own analysis. You have to learn by watching videos like this. Go learn. And you will avoid mistakes like this. You would lose money every year on this property after your mortgage. Well, what's a mortgage on $150,000? If you have $150,000 property, and you borrow 80% of it, what is that? You're going to borrow $120,000. On a 30-year mortgage, let's say that's around $600 a month. About a 30-year mortgage times 12. What is that? $7,200. What was your profit? $7,000. You're going to have negative cash flow every year.
Negative cash flow.
Negative cash flow. You'll make money because you're going to pay down mortgage, but you're going to have negative cash flow every single year on that property because you trusted that guy. Now, am I saying you can't do well on that property? A lot of those expenses I put in there, you can probably do yourself. If you're okay with that, go for it. But don't think for a second you're buying a 15 cap. You're not. Don't think for 1 second. Even if I take out all these expenses, let's say for some miraculous reason, you figure out a way to make this all zero. All zero.
Yes.
All zero.
Even at 12.6.
What is that? Call it 8%. I don't think it's 8%.
8.4.
8.4. But you're going to have to do a lot of work, and you're not going to get all the maintenance, you're not going to get all that stuff for free. So just paying your taxes and insurance and your vacancy, you're still going to make some money, but you're not going to make a ton. And that's assuming all the maintenance you do on your own, you have all the supplies for free, you cut the grass yourself, you don't have any gas cost for the grass, you snow plow yourself, you do all those things. Let me ask you a question. Is your time worth more than $12,600 less your mortgage of $7,200? Is your time worth more than $5,400 a year? And if you want to have a portfolio of 100 of these, could you do all that work? The answer is no. So you decide what you want to do. You can either enter this, and then you'll buy this, and you'll hate real estate forever, you'll never buy another deal, or you can be a little more cautious in this market and go do things the right way and go learn the right way.
Thank you, Paul, for your insight. Tyler, we're coming after your ass. It's Tyler, right?
Yeah, I want to give his last name so we can all go troll him, but it's probably not a good idea. You know the funny... Yeah, anyways.
I'll hold him back, folks. Don's asking, what is it?
So
what is a good cap rate? What is a good cap rate that the viewers can look at? If they're what ballpark range do we need to get in?
All expenses except for your mortgage, even more than this, your maintenance, repair, your management, all those things. If you can buy around a 7 cap, you're going to do very well in this market. In this market right now, and you get a 30-year mortgage that's going to be set, you're going to do very well. But make sure it's after all expenses. Don't do this bullshit of vacancy, taxes, insurance. No, it's got to be supplies, all that stuff. The first property I ever bought, I based it on this. And I sold it for a loss 10 years later.
If you have questions...
I shouldn't say that. I sold it, what I paid for it 10 years later, but in my head, that's a loss.
If you have questions, write them below for Paul. He responds to them personally. He writes PG if he's responding. If you're just saying, yay, we love you, that would be Don and I responding. But if you have a question or you want to argue with Paul, he's ready to do so. Thanks for watching the Everything Money channel. Click and like, subscribe, and follow our other. We're up to like 160 total videos, so keep clicking around and see what you what kind of trouble you can get into here with Paul. Better call Paul. Thanks, guys.